Sorry. What you got?
Perfection.
Perfection. Okay, so you're going to reach perfection. So what is it? What is perfection then? Perfection, that's a good synonym. That's cool. You're a literature major, right? I know. You're an English major. I know that. Yeah, so what is your fullest potential? So here's the question. If you don't know what is your fullest potential, then how do you know how to get there? You understand me? If you cannot identify your fullest potential, then how would you get to your fullest potential? So that's the whole point. So this whole series is going to be great. It's going to be so totally awesome and cool that we're going to bring you to the best you can be. So another word for your fullest potential is to be the best you can be. So actually again, have you reached that? Are you the best that you can be right now? And most of you will say, no, I'm not the best that I can be. So then we're not just win, but how do you know you've reached your fullest? How do you know you're the best that you can be? If you don't know what is it, then you cannot be the best that you can be. Is that cool? So let's go. Take your pen, please. Nice and loud. Please read the message series, which is on the title of your program in the back. Please read. Nice and loud. 6 self-defeating obstacles prevent your full potential. First one. Here's the first one. It's going to come, but I'm just going to give you one principle first I have to deal with. Jesus warns against lying to yourself. To yourself. That's what we're saying right now. Jesus warns against lying to yourself. Please read Luke 12:1, nice and loud. Meanwhile, when a crowd of many thousands had gathered, so that they were trampling on one another, Jesus began to speak first to his disciples, saying, be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Take your pen, please. It's very, very easy. This is Jesus talking. Catch this now. Meanwhile, a crowd of many thousands. Man, there's a whole lot of thousands of people out there when Jesus was talking. And they were trampling on one another just so that they could hear what Jesus was talking about. So before Jesus speaks to the whole crowd, here's what's going to happen first. Jesus began to speak first to his disciples, his inner circle. Not just 12, but his inner circle. And here's what Jesus said. And here's what we're going to learn from him. He says, be on your guard. I'm going to be on your guard. I'm going to say be on your guard.
Be on your guard.
That means he says, be careful, be careful. He gives this warning. He says, against the yeast of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Circle hypocrisy, please. Let me have your attention, please. I start with that first. In order for you to reach your fullest potential in life, in order for you to be the best that you can be, Jesus makes this warning. He goes, be careful of hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is very, very simple. You know what hypocrisy is? I'll show you. Let's just say, you have a friend, and he drinks a lot, and let's just say he's addicted to alcohol. Let's just say he's a drunk, okay? And if your friend comes up to you and says, you know what? No, you shouldn't be drinking. Drinking is not good for you. Would you say he's a hypocrite? Who would say that he's a hypocrite? No, he's a drunk. He's addicted to alcohol, and he tells you, don't do it, it's not good for you. So how many will you agree that that's a hypocrite? He's being helpful. He's being true. He's being a good friend. He's saying, no, don't drink. Drinking is not good for you. That's good advice. Would you say so? That's good advice. But then we might not say, no, that sounds like a hypocrite. Well, how come he's doing it? I'll tell you what a hypocrite is, so then you can understand it a little bit better, a deeper level. We're just scratching the surface. Hypocrisy is this. Using the same illustration, that drunk of your friend goes up to you, don't drink. Drinking is no good for you. No, car crashes, a lot of bad things could happen. Don't drink. Drinking is no good for you. I'm not drunk. Hypocrisy is not lying to your friends. Hypocrisy is not your friend telling you that, hey, drinking is no good for you, you shouldn't drink. Hypocrisy is looking at yourself and lying back to yourself. You say, I'm not a drunk. That's hypocrisy. Hypocrisy hurts yourself the most. Are you guys getting there? Are you guys understanding it? So hypocrisy is this, that drunk that comes up to you and say, don't drink, make sure you don't drink and drive. Bad things can happen. You see, I don't have a problem with alcohol. And meanwhile, he's like tipsy and everything else. So hypocrisy is not lying to your friends or to others. Hypocrisy is lying to yourself. And here's what Jesus is saying. He says, be careful. He's talking to his inner circle. Before he even talks to the thousands of people, he gathers his innermost circle, his beloved. He says, be careful. Be on your guard against the yeast of Pharisees. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to go into that a little more so. But ultimately, what Jesus said, if you want to reach your fullest potential, don't lie to yourself. And so this whole message series, there's going to be 6 things that we lie to ourselves. I'm going to try to identify 6 things for us from today on for the next few weeks. Each one of these things is going to stop you from being your very best. Are we cool? First one, take your pen. Here's the first obstacle that we're going to face. Critical spirit. A critical spirit. Let me ask you guys before we go continue. You have your attention. Anyone here in this room has a critical spirit? Would you say, I have a critical spirit? Who admits? I got 1, I got 2, 3 people, 4 people out of 5 people. I got a maybe with a pen, I'm not sure. So I got like 5 of us that may admit that I have a critical spirit. So then everybody else is chill, right? Everybody's chill. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to show you what a critical spirit is first. And we go from there. Is that fair? That's fair, right? First one. We assume incorrectly. Is that talking to somebody? Oh, someone's laughing at me. Can I use that illustration? If I can use that illustration, just wink a little. Assume incorrectly. I'm waiting for the wink. Please read Luke 11:37-38, nice and loud. When Jesus had finished speaking, a Pharisee invited him to eat with him. So he went in and reclined at the table. But the Pharisees, noticing that Jesus did not first wash before the meal, were surprised. Take your pen. So Jesus continues. He goes, when Jesus had finished speaking to the disciples, a Pharisee invited him to eat with them. So Jesus went and reclined at the table, at the dinner table. But the Pharisee, catch this now, noticing. So I'm noticing. Everyone say noticing. Noticing. That Jesus did not first wash before the meal. And here's the second reaction from this Pharisee. Surprise. Look at the word surprise. Let me have your attention, please. See, we might not want to raise our hands when I ask you, do you have a critical spirit? Because that sounds so, I don't have a critical spirit. I'm easygoing. I'm chill and everything else. But I'm going to ask you this question now. Have you ever assumed incorrectly in your life? Have you ever looked at a situation? Have you ever looked at somebody and what someone did, and you thought it was happening, but you assumed that you were incorrect? Has that ever happened to you? Raise your hand. Oh, so more hands out there. More hands out there. So for those of us who are like, I'm not critical. Not that cool. I'm so easygoing. But every time we start to assume incorrectly, that's right at the beginning. So Jesus is being invited to a dinner. And a Pharisee is very, very simple. It's like a Harvard lawyer, a Harvard graduate. He's at the top of the class. He's the smartest one. He's the valedictorian. He's that 1%er. He's there in that society. He's well respected. He is smart. He knows so much. And he invited Jesus and come have dinner. And the first thing that this Pharisee was looking was like he was noticing. He was just looking, observing. Yes, noticing. Have you ever noticed people and say, check him out, check her out, what's she wearing, what's he doing? Every time you're checking somebody out, now you're not doing like, oh, he's cute. Now, I'm not talking about that part of she's cute, she's pretty. I'm not talking about that checking out. But you're checking out, you're noticing, you're trying to catch someone to do something wrong. That's a critical spirit. Are we there? You're trying to catch someone, and you're noticing. And catch this, he was surprised. He goes, how come Jesus didn't wash his hands before he had the meal? See, in those days, it's not for cleanliness, it's not for sanitary reason. Smiling too. Oh, you're smiling. Smile. They have a ritual. They say, before I partake, before I take dinner, before I eat a meal, I'm going to be clean. I'm going to wash my hands ceremonially clean. I'm clean with God. I'm cool with God. It's almost like this. It's almost like before we partake of lunch or meal or sandwich, we say grace, right? We say grace. And after we say grace, we eat. We thank God we have the food. Have you ever had food and then you didn't say grace? And people say, hey, how come you didn't say grace? Hey, you didn't say grace. I lead Bible studies, numerous times. And a lot of times I go into right into a Bible study, and then at the end of the Bible study, I'm going to say a prayer, and then say a prayer. You know how many people come up to me and say, Minister Kenny, now this person has a problem. I'm like, what's up? He goes, you didn't pray. You didn't pray before we had the Bible study. How come? And the guys are all like, shocked. You're a minister. Don't you supposed to pray before the Bible study? You shouldn't. That's not good. You guys getting me? So that's the beginning of a critical spirit. You assume something, you're noticing something, and you're incorrect. And catch this. Here's the second part of the critical spirit. You get 10, please. You judge harshly. You judge harshly. Please read Luke 11:42 nice and loud. Woe to you, Pharisees, because you give God a tenth of your mint, rue, and all other kinds of foreign herbs, but you neglect justice and the love of God. Think of that. Woe to you. Circle woe to you. I'm going to say woe. Whoa. Like, look at me. Not that woe. Whoa. This is woe. This is like bad. This is like almost a curse. Woe to you. Let's continue. Because you give God a tenth of your mint, etc., but here's the contrast. But you neglect. Circle the word neglect. That's a key word. I'm going to say neglect. There are two things Jesus is talking about this passage. You neglect justice. Underline that, please. What else? Love of God. Underline that, please. There's two things, so catch this. I asked if anyone here has a critical spirit. I got about 4 or 5 people that raised their hand and says, yeah, I admit I have a critical spirit. And the majority of us, overwhelming 90% of us said, I don't have a critical spirit. But if I were to say, have you ever assumed incorrectly, many of us raise our hands. I would raise my hands. I have assumed incorrectly. But you don't just stop there. You don't just stop there. But when we assume incorrectly, it's always for the negative. Is that true? Is that true? You don't assume in a positive way. We don't assume incorrectly and give the person something more. But when we assume incorrectly, that's the beginning of that critical spirit. But then we judge harshly. And that's what Jesus is saying to this Pharisee. He goes, you know what, you got me all wrong. Just because I didn't wash my hands, and you're noticing me, and you're surprised that I won't wash my hands? What does that mean? And Jesus knows this Pharisee's heart. He goes, you know what, I know you do all that good things. You give a tenth of everything to God. But here's something that you're missing, man. You're missing two things. He goes, you neglect something. You're neglecting justice and you're neglecting the love of God. What's Jesus saying? He's just saying, why do you judge so harshly? Why is it so hard in there? Are you guys hearing me? But every time, catch this, here's what the critical spirit is. A critical spirit is you assume incorrectly and you're judging very harshly. Yes. Have you ever done that? Have you ever had that experience? Have you ever had that experience? We all have. We all have. And catch this. If you have that, that's the first obstacle. That's why Jesus woe to us. Nothing good can happen to us. Nothing good. So we have to get that away. Are we cool? Would you like to get that critical spirit out of you? Would you like to have that? Would you? I think we need to. Let me ask you something. Let me show you something. I asked you a very, very simple question. I said, have you reached your fullest potential? And we didn't raise up our hands. That's a great answer. We have not reached our fullest potential. I have not reached my fullest potential. Right? Life is good. So much to look forward to. I got so much to look forward to. Not just at 18 years old, or 20 years old, or 35 years old, whatever age you are. You have so much to look forward to. But what is that fullest potential? What is that best? I'm going to define that first. Once you define the goal, what is your fullest potential, then you'll see where we're going with this. Are we cool? Take your pen, please. Your full potential is character development. Your fullest potential, another word for that is character development. And here's the action. It's to love God, others, and self. It's to love God, others, and self. That's your fullest potential. Let me have your attention. That's the answer. If someone were to ask you, what is your fullest potential? Are you going to say, well, I'm going to be a lawyer, I'm going to be a doctor, when I reach to be a doctor, that's my fullest potential. Or when I'm going to be a basketball player, when I get to, let's say, Division I, the Division, if you're going to college, oh man, if I can be NBA or whatever, my dreams, that's my fullest potential. All those are great goals, all those are good life goals. But ultimately, it's about your character, it's not about what you do. You know what I'm saying? It's not about what you do. It's about who you are. Your fullest potential is about who you are. And the best part of you is when you're able to love God. The best part of it, when you're able to love other people, you reach your fullest potential when you're able to love yourself. That's the answer. That's the answer. And that's the best part of it. When you're able to do that, and you're on that journey, it's going to be such a cool journey. Let me show it to you. Take your pen, please. Please read Luke 11:39-41, nice and loud, please. Then the Lord said to him, now then, you Pharisees clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside you are full of greed and wickedness. You foolish people, did not the one who made the outside make the inside also? Here's the first villain. Here's the principle. To love yourself, you have to look inside. To love yourself, you have to look inside. That's your first villain. You have to look inside and be honest with yourself. How do we get that? Take your pen, watch this. Then the Lord, that's Jesus said to the Pharisees, he says, now then, you Pharisees, clean the outside. So I go clean the outside. Everyone say clean the outside.
Clean the outside.
So you clean the outside, the cup and dish, but inside, so I go inside. Everyone say inside.
Inside.
What's inside? Full of what?
Greed and wickedness.
Underline those two. Let me have attention, please. Now, I was watching this little documentary, 2-hour documentary that's been on watching. This young woman, her name is Melissa Morris. Anyone heard of that name, Melissa Morris? 650 pounds. That's how much she weighs. 650 pounds. Her pants, her circumference, you know, some of you are like 25, 27, 28, and you don't want to hit 30. Once you hit 30, you're like 31, 32. That's cool, right? It's 30, right? Her circumference, the pant size, is over 100. She's 650 pounds, so she's about 4 times my weight. 4 times my weight. She goes like this. At 350 pounds, she was never always fat, but she was getting. At 350 pounds, she goes, I'm not fat. At 350 pounds. She goes like this, I'm not fat, I'm not obese, I still can walk. That's what she said. That's what she said. That's hypocrisy. Are you guys getting that? She said, I'm not fat at 350 pounds. Because I could still walk. And since I could still walk, I'm okay. There's nothing wrong. I get up at 7 o'clock, I have breakfast. 8 o'clock, I have breakfast again. 9 o'clock, I have breakfast. 10, breakfast. 11, what do you think? Lunch. 12, lunch. Every hour I have a meal. I love food. I'm addicted to food, yes, but I am not fat. When she got to 650 pounds, that was the rude awakening. She goes, I need to lose weight. I am fat. I've been lying to myself. I'm the hypocrite. She goes like this, I want to live life to the fullest, and I can't because of my weight. She had a husband. Her husband married her prior to when she was 350 pounds. I think she was about like maybe almost 350 pounds, and the husband married her. And he has to go through it with her. She had to have surgery just to start, you know, doing certain things and curb her appetite and everything else. Catch this. From 650 pounds she started, she went down to 600. From 600 she went down to 550. And then another 100, another 100, another 100, another 100. From 650 pounds she lost 500 pounds and she was at 157 pounds. She was like, whoa, I'm getting skinny. Can you imagine that? And from 650, she couldn't wipe herself. At 650, she couldn't walk and get. At 650, she couldn't get into the car. Her husband had to do all that for her. At 157, she was slim. She says, I was never that weight. And life still sucks. Wow. Life still sucks. You would say that she might have reached her potential. You would say that's amazing, that's so totally cool. And no, for those of us who have weight issues, totally cool, yes. I'm not knocking that. I'm not hating that. But here's what I'm saying. She came to this realization. She says, as I was losing my weight from 650 down to 150, I thought I'd be happy. I thought that I'm achieving all my goals. I thought I'm reaching my fullest potential. I thought that I'm going to have this great life ahead of me. And she said, that's a lie. She said, I lost all this weight that's outside. But there was something within me that I still hate about myself. She still had emotional issues. And she knew it. The emotional issue that she had that drove her up to 650, she never addressed it. What was inside of her, she couldn't cut away from diets and surgery. You guys get me? You can cut all the weight that you want and do whatever you need to do and diet all you can do. You can take care of the outside, but the inside is still dark. And that's what Jesus is talking about right now. Jesus said to the Pharisees, you wash that hand and you clean all that stuff, and you think you're all good there. And he says, watch and be careful. That's a hypocrite. You're just lying to yourself. You're never going to be up there. And here's what Jesus is saying. Take care of the inside. You wash the outside, but you got to take care of the inside. So you have a little container. And this is us. This is us. We start out like this first. And we wash the outside. Say, oh, we're nice and clean and everything else, right? You can almost drink from it. I'm not drinking from it. I got this little thing going. I'm very meticulous about my water. Oh, this is still warm. Look what this is. What's warm and this kind of color? That you get in the bathroom?
Oh, no.
And the doctor says, give me some sample?
No.
Some urine sample? Ooh. Ooh. You guys drank too much last night. This is what happens to your pee when you drink too much. So this is us. This is us. We wash ourselves, we're nice and clean, and we're all that, and we think we're all cool. We don't have this critical spirit. And then Jesus goes, yeah. But inside of us, catch this now, inside of us. And some of us, we might have a little bit. Some of us, we might have a little bit more. Jealousy, envy, all kinds of nasty stuff in there. Like this. Just a little bit. This is us. This is you, this is me. Seriously speaking, this is you, this is me. That's not urine sample. I'm gonna let you know. I got it from Jen. She was a stronger kid, and the diaper needs to be changed, and then I just kind of squeezed the diaper out. It was Darren, he's a big boy. Catch this. Do you do this? I was at this place. It's my favorite beef jerky place in Chinatown. You guys like beef jerky? Who likes beef jerky?
I know what it is.
Yeah, well, you know where it is. So I go there, right? I go there, and he sees me. I've been a regular customer. I said, give me 3/4 pounds. No, it's kind of expensive. I can't afford a whole pound. Half a pound was not enough. I said 3/4 pounds. 3/4 pound. He got this visual scale of 75.75, right? So he puts it in there. Very meticulous because it's a lot of money. It costs a lot of money. So he has to hit 75, right? 0.75. 0.77. I'm like, ooh, 0.77. Is he going to take it off? And then he takes the tongue up and he looks at me. I'm like smiling, like, don't say nothing. Is he going to take it up? He does not take it up, he puts it down. He puts the tongue next to the seat, wrap it. So how much more I got extra? 6.2, right? 0.02. So I'm going like this. First thing you say, when someone does something nice, what do you say?
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. He goes like this. He says to me, you know, people that treat me, I don't want to use this word, but I have to. That's the word that he used. I won't use it fully, so you understand. So you know exactly what he's telling me. He goes, people who treat me like a whatever. I can't say it. It's probably rectum. People who treat me like an A, whatever. I treat them like that. People who are nice to me, I'm nice to you. So apparently I've been nice. I always say hello. I always say thank you. So then, instead of pulling down that 0.02, he does not pull down that 0.02. He gives me the 77. I said, thank you. So he says, yeah, people that treat me nice, I'm nice to. But you're bad to me, I'm going to be bad to you. Am I describing any one of us? Is that how you work? Catch this now. Catch this. Let's go back to this. Concentrate. That's what we are. Within this, we could pull something good and say, here, take that extra 0.02 of beef jerky. You're nice to me, I'm nice to you. But within this, you see that dirty part of us? I could select at any time. You weren't nice to me last week. I'm going to pull something else out. What you do to me, I'm going to do to you the same. You're nice to me, I'm nice to you. You're bad to me, I'm bad to you. I have that capability. Is that true? Is that true? It's all right here. So I'll ask you guys a question. How do you get rid of that dirty stuff? If that's how we are. We always have that dirty stuff in us. We're always going to go back to that dirty stuff. And Jesus gives us the solution to be the best that you can be is to get rid of all that dirty stuff. So that you don't reach inside yourself and say, you do that to me, you're an anal to me, I'm going to be an anal to you. You have to get rid of that stuff. And here's what Jesus goes with. Brand new container. Brand new total. Jesus goes, not only do you clean the outside, you have to clean the inside. There's no way you clean that out. There's no way. And Jesus makes this promise to each and every one of us. He goes, brand new, see? You didn't know that, right? Cellophane tape, too, everything. This is brand new. We think that we could be, I'm so good of a person, I'm not critical. But then you treat me bad, I treat you bad too. When you say that, that's how bad stuff is still in you. And then Jesus goes, no, clean the inside, stop cleaning the outside. Stop thinking about exercises and look how good you are and look what you're dressing. All that outside stuff, nonsense. Nonsense. Jesus goes, there's a brand new you. You know, Minister Kenny, how do I get that brand new you? And Jesus goes like this. You come to him and he says, Lord, I don't want that. I want you in my life. And Jesus gives you this promise. That very person that you are, nothing crazy gonna happen. Same you in the sense of the essence of who you are, your temperament, who you are, but there's a new heart. Brand new, totally new. And he gives that to you. And that's when you start to be the best that you can be. And there are two signs that you're on this path. Take your pen. There's one sign that you're on this path that there's a new you. It is foundational. It's to help people. Please read Luke 11:41 nice and loud. But give what is inside the dish to the poor, and everything will be clean for you. Take your pen. But give what is inside, circle inside. Again, he's talking about inside. Underline to the poor, and everything will be clean for you. You know how you're going to be the best that you can be? You know when, not just when, but that question I asked, what is your fullest potential? Jesus says when you have this new you, the foundational aspect of it that you're going to start to notice and you're going to start to help people. And that's the amazing part. When you are able to help others, that's another word for loving others. So you love yourself by being true to yourself and being honest to yourself. It says, I don't want that, I know I'm capable of that. That's loving yourself. You guys getting me? That's loving yourself. And when you're able to love yourself, you say, I don't want that, I'm a new me, the next part is you start to love other people. And how you start to love other people is by helping other people. That's when you're very, very best. I'm telling you right now, you reach your fullest potential, regardless of whatever you do. Because you're a player, basketball player, because you're a doctor, a lawyer, because whatever you do, you try to, because whatever you do. But there's this goodness within your heart that you start to love other people. And you live that out for the rest of your life. That's when you reach your fullest potential. So when someone asks you the question, what is your fullest potential? You're going to say, I love myself, I'm honest with myself. What else? He goes, I love people, I help people. Now I saw this little documentary, really, really cool. They were talking about people who were in their 70s and 80s and 90s. And they asked them, what do you do? Why do you do what you do? There was this lady, she's like 81 years old. My Lord, 81 years old. Her name is Freddie. Yeah, Freddie, 81 years old, a lady. You know what she does? She's a ski instructor. I said, Are you going to get onto that slope? Yes! At 81 years old, she gets onto the slopes. She goes up there and she teaches little kids how to ski. She was so happy. She was just able to help people. There was this other lady, she's 76 years old, I forgot her name. She runs, I think it's like what they call assisted living quarters. They help people as they get older. She goes, I've been doing this for the last, I don't know, 40, 50 years. I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for anything. But the joy that I have of helping with these people. Do you think she's reached her full potential? Is she on her path, these two ladies? Yes. They're living their fullest potential. Everything that you do, you're able to help somebody. You're reaching out. You're growing that potential. You know, this past Friday, I was coming out. It was really, really cool. There's this gas station I told you guys about. And I met these two guys. I think I shared this with you a little while ago. So I haven't been going to this gas station. I've been going to one closer to my home. Because it was a few cents cheaper. Gas was kind of pricey. I was in a rush. So I pulled this gas station. I met this guy again. His name is Galit. People call him Kelly, but his name is Galit. And he sees me pulling in and, you know, just refilling my gas. And first thing he did was that he waved at me. I waved back, and I know that he was not in uniform. And I said, come. And then he comes down and says, you need a ride? Because I know he's going to get him off, so he comes in. Yeah, you guys don't do that, because I'm not such a know this guy. Don't give people a ride. That's right now. So I'm giving him a ride. And the reason I gave him a ride is because, back in Christmas time, I got to know him a little bit. I gave him a ride, gave him $20. I said, God loves you, Jesus loves you. And they always remember this. So now we're talking about, 6 months later, I see him again. So we're driving, I got my gas full, I have to drop him off at McDonald's, which is about 3 miles away. 3-minute ride, very simple, right? Cool? So we're talking. And, we're just catching up a little bit. He goes, what do you do? I said, I teach the Bible. That's what I do. I'm a teacher. I'm not sure you would understand if I would say, I'm a minister. I said, how many hours do you work a week? He works about 80 hours a week. Minimum 60, at least 70, 80 hours a week. He makes $7 an hour. He makes $7 an hour. So he asked me, how much do I make? I said, I make about $15, $20 an hour. I go, how much do you make a week? I go, I calculate, I make $500 a week. True, I make $500 a week. So I asked him, so how much do you make a week? You make more than me. He starts to smile. I said, yeah. I said, you make $800 a week after all that? I said, no. I make $550. So he makes $550 a week. And we're driving to McDonald's. I dropped him off. But he didn't want to be dropped off. He goes, come. I said, what? What's the matter? He says, let's have lunch. I said, lunch? I was kind of in a rush. He goes, yeah, I bought you a sandwich. Isn't that so cool? Isn't that so cool? He made my day. Seriously speaking. I was able to help him with a ride, back in December. I'm giving him a ride now. And he's reciprocating this love. A guy that pumps gas for $7 an hour. And he works really, really hard. And he goes, he wants to take me out. He said, yeah, get a sandwich. I said, no, I'm kind of rushed. He said, get a soda. Get something. But I said, I'm going to take a rain check. Are you guys getting me? Your fullest potential. When you're able to start to help others. And when as you help others, that love comes back to you. It's so, so cool. Let me finish with the last one. Last one. Here's your daily practice. Here's what you know there's a new you. Be fair to and give people a break. Be fair to and give people a break. Please read Luke 11:42 nice and loud. Woe to you, Pharisees, because you give God a tenth of your mint, rue, and all other kinds of earned gardens. Justice and the love of God. You should have practiced the latter without leaving the former undone. Take a pen. This is the phrase, woe to you, circle woe. Because you give God a tenth, circle you give God underline a tenth. You give mint, rue, that's all kinds of little plants, and all other kinds of garden herbs. We said this, when you neglect justice and love of God, circle justice, circle love of God. Here's what Jesus said. You should have practice. I want to say practice. Circle practice. Underline the latter, without leaving the former undone. All right, what's the latter? What do you say? You should practice the latter. That means you have to practice justice and the love of God, and continue to give God that 1/10. Let me finish with this. Real question, real question. Have you ever faced and experienced discrimination? Raise your hand. You all have. Every one of us. Every one of us. I'm looking here everywhere, all minorities. You know you have. And that doesn't mean that you're Caucasians and you're white or whatever, that you don't. Every one of us, regardless of race, right? True? Would you like to get rid of that in this world? Discrimination? Isn't that it? We don't want that. And that's one thing that we experience all the time. We hate it when we get that. What, you don't like me because just because my skin color, you don't like me because what, my hair, whatever that is, we don't like it. And that's what Jesus is talking about. He tells these Pharisees, he says, you think you got all there, you think you're all there. But he says, no, you gotta take care of those double standards. You know what's a double standard? Do you hate double standards? No, it doesn't have to be racial discrimination. It doesn't have to be just the color. It could be just double standards. Double standards, you're really hard on other people, but you're much easier on yourself. That's a double standard. Are you with there? Right? And you're really, really hard on others, and you give yourself a slack, nothing good can come out. And Jesus says, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. You're only hurting yourself. Your very best, your best potential, the fullest part, the best part of you comes out when you start to be able to love people. And he goes, when you're able to love God, you give God the 10th. Now here's what Jesus said. Start to give people a break. Be fair to people. That's the justice I have to circle. Be fair to people. Be fair. See, every time we have that critical spirit, we assume incorrectly and we judge harshly. It's because we have this double standard. And nothing good can come out from our hearts. We don't grow. And Jesus, don't do that. Practice. Practice justice. Practice giving people a break too. So I'm going to ask you guys a very, very simple question. Don't you think that's your very best? It's not because you're doing good in school, it's not because you have degrees, it's not because you have a certain job. Don't you agree with me and with the Lord that your very best is when you're able to love yourself and love others and love God? That is your fullest potential. That's when life is really, really cool. When you're able to give people a break. I went with this story, real cool. So after I got my gas, I went to pick up a friend. So I had to drive and we were going someplace, and then my friend had directions, right? And he goes like, okay, wrong direction. I said, okay, cool, that's fine. I can't know how to get there a certain way. And so I'm driving, and then I didn't follow the directions, sorry. I kind of had an idea, so I kind of veer off a little bit. Just as I veer off, within a span of less than 5 minutes, my friend was going, why'd you do this? Now, 4 times at least, within a span of like 5 minutes, I was already told, like, come on, we're going to be late, you didn't follow directions, should make a left instead of a right, and we're in this red light, and this red light takes like forever, and the person, my friend's going, yeah. I'm like, come on, really? Yeah, more? We're going to spend like 5-10 minutes doing, yeah. Oh, jeez. Ignore it. Not going to ruin my day. Continue. So we're proceeding, right? And we're supposed to make a turn. The direction's supposed to make a turn. And I'm supposed to make a turn. And I'm going to make a turn. And the person goes, my friend goes, hey, next one. I was like, okay, next one. So I'm like, no, we missed the turn. Go to the next one. So I'm driving. I know we're wrong. We're going the opposite direction. And my friend, oops, I think we're wrong. I've got to go around. Is it time for me to go? Yeah. I tell you so. Is that my time that I can go like this? I'm capable of this too. You gave me this? Oh, I can take this out. I can give it back to you something's going to happen to you this week. Let me be prophetic with you. It's an easy one. Something's going to happen to you this week where you're going to be tested. And this part of you going to come out, you're going to assume something. And you know, you shouldn't go there. Something's going to happen where you're going to try to judge and you need to be harsh a little bit. You say, I'm not going there. And instead of doing that, here's what you're going to do. I'm going to give you a prayer. I love God. I love you. I love myself. Let us pray. Lord God, you are so awesome, Lord. Thank you for teaching us what it is to be our very best, what it is to reach our fullest potential, Lord. It's to fill ourselves with this new love. A love that loves you, a love that loves others, and a love that loves ourselves, to be honest with ourselves, Lord. So I praise you, Father. I praise you for all my friends here, sitting right here. I praise you for my family. I praise you for all the friends that come here. I pray that this week we may want to do something different. We could break out from that old mold, Lord, that we treat others as they treat us, in the sense that if they're nice to me, I'll be nice. If they're not nice, then I won't be nice. I pray that we put that away. We put all that away, Lord. I pray that we could break out of that, Father. That we can learn to just share your love and give people a break. That is your goodness. That is your justice. And I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.